So this week we have Nizza. Nizza, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and give us a walk through your Earth 2 story so far?
Yeah, right, guys. I'm Nizza, behind the mask. So I joined March 27th, 2021. So as far as I'm concerned, I joined late. I was playing the catch up from day one, really. First found it through Facebook, made my way to Discord through recommendation, and then basically stumbled on Gen Chat and really got involved, chasing bigger people. Didn't realize before I knew it, snowballed into Earth 2 bigger than I expected to.
You joined pretty much the same date as me. I think I was around the 15th of March, so you were about a week or two after me.
Yeah.
I feel very late being at that date as well, so I know what you mean. Nice. I'm impressed. I didn't realise you were that late as well. I'm quite impressed by your portfolio, knowing that. But we'll get into your portfolio later, though.
No worries.
I'm just going to get straight into the questions. Firstly, I know you're a big part of the Lone Wolves Guild. Do you want to talk us through who those are and what your role is within the Lone Wolves?
So, Lone Wolves is a tricky one because, so again, they'd already formed, they were up and running well before I joined. A lot of the more active ones from the original time, they've kind of gone quiet. They've not necessarily sold out. They're waiting, they're waiting for the end game. The big thing with Lone Wolves is there were a group of individuals. There was no force. There was basically no requirements. Everybody can be part of the Lone Wolves. You do your own thing. You can promote within. We're basically mercenaries. Kind of. It's a difficult one because there's a group within the group as well that consider it more of a guild.
Okay.
So yeah, we're a collective of loners.
People that don't fit into the kind of standard guilds and stuff like that.
Pretty much. People that want more of a solo game, a solo experience, but need a community to kind of come to for a bit of support when they need it, really.
Yeah, and have each other's back when PvP and stuff comes as well. Yeah.
Hopefully.
I've only just noticed the shirt that you're wearing as well. Yeah, I've only just saw that there. Knights of Malta. I saw the little knight head popping up and I was like, oh, I recognise that.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of promo, aren't you, there and there?
Yeah, you certainly do. He'll be happy with you. Right. So I also know that you've done very, very well from jewel farming. Do you want to tell us what you've done from that? What inspired you to start a jewel farm and how your portfolio has evolved from having that?
Yeah, so I suppose more than anything, jewels are my story. That's really been my success in Earth 2. And to be completely honest, it was accidental.
Okay.
Huge shout out to Wizard Oz. A lot of people know him in the community.
Yeah.
He got me into the single tile idea really early. I joined with an idea of maybe escape rooms, things on that line. So small single tile properties tied in with what I wanted to do. So basically, before jewels were even a thing, I already had maybe 4,000 single tiles. So when jewels dropped, it was kind of, I had more than most. So I immediately started selling.
Okay.
I sold jewels all the way down from the height of the market to the bottom. I reinvested every penny of it really along the way.
So how many jewels on average were you getting per day, and has that changed over the time or not?
It has changed a lot over the time. So initially, there was days I was pulling in over 300 jewels, 400 jewels a day.
Yeah.
I was right up there. But after a certain amount of time, there was decreases in spawn. We got nerfed a couple of times.
Yeah.
I switched strategy along the way as well and started selling off a lot of my single tiles.
Okay.
I moved on to buying a lot of 2x2 or 2x3 properties.
Yeah.
So I was going for a bit of best of both worlds, the minimum eco sim requirements.
Yeah, fit those buildings on.
But still getting the maximum amount of properties to maximize jewels.
Oh, that makes sense. Probably good logic going forward, because I know Shane's kind of hinted that maybe single tiles aren't the best, but yeah, you obviously did well from them. It's made your portfolio huge. How many tiles are you sitting on now?
Right now, I think 56,000 tiles.
That's insane. You're on a free ride as well, aren't you?
Within a couple of $100, I am. Yeah. A couple of months ago, I started putting a little bit back in.
Okay, yeah.
But just because the jewel market's a lot lower than I'm prepared to sell at the minute, I don't get
holding them.
Yeah, I don't get the jewels that I used to, and now we're getting close to the time that I need them.
So how many jewels a day are you getting now?
I average maybe 50 to 60 jewels per day.
Okay, so that's gone down quite a lot then, actually.
A lot, but then again, I sold maybe 8,000 single tiles. So
you're still probably getting about 4 times as many jewels as I'm getting, to be fair, though. So. Right. Oh yeah, I know you're involved in a few megacity projects. Do you want to let us know what those are and walk us through them?
So I try to be everywhere. You know, if it's like, again, we've got a lot of people in the community. So if a friend's got a megacity, I try and jump on board. I'll shout out, whether it was Shun City months back, you know,
Thank you.
Knights of Malta for resin.
With your shirt, yeah.
You know, it's kind of, I've got my own projects, but my projects aren't really community. They're not megacity orientated. You know, they're kind of closed for my own development.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people know I own a lot of Guinea-Bissau. Again, with Hinksa, we've got a whole project down there. But a lot of that's closed. We can't keep it private, but we try to buy as much as we could ourselves.
Yeah, so that it is
so
your
that
project.
We control the area ultimately.
Yeah, I think I've got some down there with you guys as well. I'm sure I bought a flop.
Yeah, we've got a lot that we invited after we kind of laid down the base.
Yeah.
Because the general idea is I want to make games that people come and play, not have people that own my area.
That makes sense, yeah. So you need that space there to be able to do it, and then people can surround you with other things and join your games and whatnot.
Yeah, basically we've got neighbouring islands. So this is my island for my project. Other people want to join, they're more than welcome.
Yeah, because then you'll have natural trade routes and stuff forming within those as well, won't you?
Again, there's a bit of forward thinking there because it's well situated for trade routes and stuff.
Speaking of your games, and you mentioned escape rooms earlier, I've got that EPL. Just kind of rub it in your face a bit.
Very nice.
I think I've got escape rooms. And I'm sure there's a couple over that are very similar as well. Can't remember exactly what they are. Right, question 4. This is a standard one that I ask most people. What would you see it is the biggest challenge Earth 2 is currently facing or will face in the future?
Biggest challenge. I mean, I suppose that's delivering on expectations. You know, they've set the bar so high themselves. You know, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm here to play. I only ever came to play. Crypto was a thing after the fact. Jewels were a thing that I expected because of resource boosts, but ultimately this metaverse, that's the big obstacle. I think I'm happy with Minecraft with graphics. You know, there's a lot of people that want Ready Player One.
I think we'll get that Ready Player One said a lot, and it was just, I think the only reason that we're using that initially was because a lot of people didn't understand what the metaverse was. And I mean, I know since Facebook changed to Meta and stuff, a lot of people do now understand what the metaverse is, but it was just kind of linking the concept of what the metaverse was to an idea so people understood it, rather than saying we're going.
You know, I fully understood where they were coming from with a concept idea, but I suppose there are genuinely people out there that expected within a few years they're going to be in the Matrix, and
we're a long way away from that, aren't we?
I think so.
Even the Red Dead Redemption remark, that was literally one of the devs made like a one-off comment in the chat, and loads of people seem to be running away with that, even though I think Shane's even came out and said he wishes like the dev hadn't made that comment and stuff like that. It was literally one person made a comment once, and people just seem to have like got attached to that. I'll be happy, very happy, like you, to kind of see it develop as the years going on, advance and stuff like that. You've kind of briefly touched up on this one, but how did you first discover Earth 2?
So initially, Facebook ads.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people, it popped up in Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Kind of thought on it for a couple of days, and then yeah, again, it was funny because I kind of shown it to a couple of people, and those couple of people laughed. Weren't
Okay.
they weren't interested at all. It seemed to be another silly Nizza idea. I love the cup.
Thank you. Have you got yours?
Yeah, mine's knocking about somewhere. I didn't actually get it, but
okay.
Sorry, where was we up to?
You showed some of your friends the
Oh,
Earth
that
2
was it.
stuff.
Sorry, yeah. So I shown them, the idea of it, buying virtual tiles, and they basically wasn't interested at all. So it took me a couple of days. I thought, yeah, I'll throw in $10, then another $50, and yeah, kind of snowballed really just. But I was in Earth 2 probably maybe a couple of months before I added anything more than $50 at a time. I entered very small, very slowly.
Yeah, I was very much the same. I think you kind of, when new features start rolling out and you're seeing what other players are doing and you get ideas for projects and stuff, that's when you start to kind of commit to putting real money in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. This is another standard one. If you could give just one bit of advice to brand new Earth 2 players, what would that be?
Well, that's easy. Watch Pacey's YouTube videos.
Hey, thank you, mate. Yeah, nobody said that one before. I appreciate that.
But yeah, if not, read it yourself. I say it all the time. You just got to do your own research, read everything on the site. Read it twice if you've got to, because a lot of the answers are there. You've got to look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right with that. I mean, there is tons of information on the Earth 2 site, but it's not really put together in an order where it lets new players understand what they need to know first and stuff.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. It is difficult to navigate through.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some sort of kind of inbuilt guide tutorial thing when we do get the E2V1. But for now, I've got a nice newbie playlist if you guys want that. You can work your way through theirs and you'll learn everything you need to know about Earth 2. Yeah, thanks for the plug there, mate. I appreciate that. Right, we've already done this one a bit, actually. Do you want to walk us through your Earth 2 portfolio, how many tiles you have, how much essence you're sitting on, and so on?
Okay, so I have about 56,000 tiles at the minute. Essence, I drained a lot of my essence along the way. I'm sat roughly about 5,000 essence I've got at the minute.
That's not too bad, actually.
It's I'm happy with it. I've worked back a little bit from the new staking that's been happening recently. Yeah. I do okay. I get 50 to 60 essence per day, 50 to 60 joules per day. So
yeah, that's about 3 times how much essence I get per day as well. Yeah, you're doing awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy with my position. Moving forward.
Yeah. No, I think you've done very, very well, mate. Yeah, I kind of wish I joined you on the dual farm at the beginning because you do seem to have done extremely well from that. Hopefully there'll be a dual farm V2 where something else, maybe it's resources and hollow buildings, gives us a bit of a boost as well. Right, so this is my last question, and then we're going to move on to the ones from the community. Where do you see yourself in the future? What is going to be your position in Earth 2? Is this just an investment for you? Do you want to play the game? Are you going to be here in 10 years? What's your future plans?
So my plan was to come and create a game, really, the idea of quests, adventures, I want to create that Fable, Skyrim,
Yeah, I love Fable.
Fallout type of any genre, really. I'm a big RPG kind of game player, so even Grand Theft Auto Online, it's something that came to mind. The idea of recreating San Andreas on my land and real monetization, actually owning Eclipse Towers and things that I'm definitely here to play. I've got I don't see myself running off anytime soon. But,
no, I get that. Yeah. So what's your background? Have you grew up being a big game player and stuff like that? Or what were you doing before Earth 2? Like social times?
Not at all, really. I mean, I'm definitely not a dev. I have
I don't mean like that. I mean like just a player and stuff.
Just again, a lot of my game. So yeah, children get in the way of games sometimes. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a big family man, but they're growing up, and as they've got older, I've kind of gone back to my gaming roots. You know, again, before the children, it was probably Grand Theft Auto. You know, London, Grand Theft Auto 3,
Uh-huh.
and then everything kind of went on hold for a long time. But
How old are your kids now then?
Uh, so again, my older boys, they're growing up, they're college and university
Okay,
now,
yeah.
19 and 20. But we've still got the little girl, you know, it keeps me on my toes.
They certainly do. I've got one myself. I know what that's like.
Yeah, so you know how it is.
Yeah, they do kind of get in the way, but it's definitely worth it as well, isn't it? They bring a whole new meaning to life.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Right, we're going to move on to the community questions now, and the first one is from Dirk. You've touched up on this, but he is asking why Guinea-Bissau.
Okay, so purely the reason for Guinea-Bissau, it's where I met Hinkser. You know, it was kind of, he already had a game idea area,
Yeah.
and I basically jumped on board. We went full partnership with the whole area, really. Because it became our base, our headquarters, and we just accidentally expanded the whole island, and then moved on to the wider archipelago.
I think there's a lot of us sex members have grabbed a few of that as well now. If you guys don't know what sex is, it's this little kind of Earth 2 community. Right, next we're on to Earth 2 Viking, or Viking as he's now changed his Twitter name to. If all your properties could only produce one of the current resources, which would you choose and why?
Ooh. Iron.
Yeah,
Iron.
why iron?
Need iron for my swords, my shields, you know. Yeah, my +2 enchanted pickaxe is gonna need iron, I think.
Yeah, you're definitely getting any kind of RPG role there, aren't you? Yeah, it's a good point. I think there's probably not too many have gone for the iron ore as well, so it's probably going to be maybe it's not a scarce one, but certainly more scarce than the gold and stuff. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. And then next we have one from Trav. He's Earth 2 Vikings' brother. If you could only have one single tile in your whole Earth 2 portfolio, what would it be and why?
Ooh. One single tile?
Yeah, just literally one tile.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm not sure I would find this one easy either, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm really not sure about that. No, I don't think I like the idea of owning just one single tile.
No, that's fair enough. No, if you can't come up with an answer, that's fair. We'll move on. Next, we've got Yina. There's a couple of questions from her, actually. Are there many people around you who know Earth 2? You've kind of briefly touched up on that with your friends not being interested.
Yeah, not really. No, I have got one particular friend, really. He jumped in. It's a work colleague. So he joined, but he's very quiet, you know. He just put $50 in, see how we go.
Yeah, he's just sitting there to see what happens.
Yeah, he's definitely not active in the community.
I think that's what most players are like, to be honest. Like on the Discord and stuff now, I know there's was it 200,000 users we're meant to have in Earth 2 or something? Yeah, there's literally a tiny fraction of that who were talking daily and stuff. I mean, you see the Earth 2 activity feeds, and they're a lot more active than that. But even looking around for properties, there's literally half of Student City that doesn't even have mentors and stuff like that. And if you go to London and the built-up cities and that, you literally maybe getting 10% of them that have got mentors and stuff. Yeah, so I think we've got a lot of people sitting on tiles.
A lot of sleepers, definitely.
Missing out on all the essence, but I guess they'll come back and they'll have that promise there if they're from the early days of T1.
Should do.
What you've covered this one as well. Second question from Yina. She is asking what you want to do in Earth 2. I think we've pretty much been over that, haven't we?
Create games, really. Yeah.
Build experiences. Now we've got Hinksy, who you've just been talking about, and he is asking a very similar to what you just had from Trav. What is your favourite property and why? It's not a single tile this time.
Oh. And my favorite property, again, it's out the way in the middle of a jungle.
Okay.
But it's part of the Den. It's one of the Lone Wolves collaborative properties. You know, I think it's a beautiful masterpiece of Earth 2, really. The way that we came together, you know, to plan, create, and actually buy the properties. I think we did great with that.
Yeah, I've got one of the circles that if you guys haven't seen that, I'll drop a link in the description below. But the tile art on it is absolutely insane. It's probably my favorite tile art inside of F2. It's brilliant. Really good.
It's got a solid concept behind it. The idea is so the circle is the lone wolf surrounded by the rest of the pack, and ultimately, hopefully, the rest of Earth too. You know, it's.
Yeah, I like that, and you try to kind of all Wolves members in the main core as well, didn't you? Before it was kind of advertised to anyone in F2 and stuff.
We pushed it,
yeah. It is like I'll drop a link below if any of you guys want to check it out because it's a fantastic project. Next up we have E2 Ireland. There was 4 questions from E2 Ireland, but I've only included a couple of them because I didn't even really understand another 2 of them myself. Even these ones are a bit random. So his first question is: Duolingo definitely needs to be in the metaverse. Do you need to speak wolf in the Lone Wolves, or can they translate?
Okay, well, we translate. We translate the best that we can anyway.
That's fair, mate. I'm not sure I would be able to speak the wolves myself. That's a bit of a random one. And his next one, another random one, is if the metaverse was a vegetable, which one would it be?
Vegetable.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. You know, let's call it an onion because it's got layers.
Got many layers. I like that. I had potato in my head because there's many different uses for it.
Yeah, we'll have that.
No, we'll have both. Next one to David, and he is asking: are you really Hinksy, or is Hinksy really Nizza?
No, we're definitely separate people.
Yeah. I can confirm that. I speak to them both quite often, and they're definitely 2 different people.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you guys want to see Hinksy, he is in the Earth 2 Happy Birthday video, so you can actually see him in there as well. Anyway, next, Jolly Roger, and he is asking: if there's lots of lone wolves in a surfer, are they still lone?
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've kind of covered that anyway, because it is solo players coming together. They kind of just have each other's back and stuff. So yeah, it's still lone. Right. Now, Dancho. I think it's the first time they've asked a question, because I don't recognise that name. This must be somebody you know. Does it bother you that a rookie is better than you at Epic RPG?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But yeah, so that's in Resin's Knights of Malta server. We've got a little RPG, just a little Discord bot going at the minute. But it's a lot of fun, very addictive. And yeah, Dancho came out of nowhere, kind of destroyed us all, really.
Really? Okay. I wonder if he's played it on other servers or something then.
The logs say he was brand new.
Okay.
But yeah,
would that not only be brand new on your server though?
I don't think so.
Because you would probably start a new character, wouldn't you?
I'm not too sure. Maybe he did, but I'm not too sure.
But yes, basically it does bother you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Secondly, he is asking, which felt like the bigger achievement, getting a brilliant duel or edgy armor?
Again, back to the epic RPG. So I'm going to have to say the duels. Brilliant duels that, you know, I got, again, lucky with duels. I got 6 brilliants.
You got 6 brilliants? Jesus.
I got 6 of them within 11 days, I think it was. So
how much essence did you spend getting those?
So eventually I spent well over 25,000 essence, but by the time I got me brilliant, less than 1,000.
Jesus, you got all of them within 1,000?
I got a brilliant on my 2nd ever attempt.
Yeah. So what have you done with those? Have you held them, or have you sold them for land, or?
So yeah, pretty much I was amongst the first selling them, you know, and I sold them all at ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
Crazy cheap. So the first were sunset jewels. I sold them at $350, $500 each.
Yeah.
You know, this was the day before Shane came out and explained how rare they were going to be.
Yeah.
But it was all reinvested into more tiles, so no regrets.
I mean, to be fair, it's still big money, but comparatively to what I've seen some of them selling for it, it's not, is it? Yeah. Right. This is the last questions, actually. We have 2 from Larotayo, and he is asking, is there a story behind your in-game name?
Not really. It finds it. I mean, it goes all the way back to late 90s. It's kind of hip hop teenage name that kind of carried on, you know, with the lads that I played Call of Duty with, you know, shouting down the phone, Nizza, Nizza. So it just stuck. I added the games specifically for Earth 2.
Yeah,
Nizza.
it makes sense to use your gamer name if for Earth 2 platform. Yeah. So the last question, if there is one thing that you want to be remembered for within Earth 2, what would that be?
Being a bit of a joker,
yeah,
you know, bit of a clown, you know, because I know I push buttons sometimes in Gen chat. I like to have a laugh, wind people up. That's me really. Bit of a joker.
I do think that comes across in Gen chat and stuff like that when you see you talking there. You're a very regular person in there as well, aren't you, sir?
Yeah, it's a bit Marmite, you know. You either love me or you hate me. It take a little bit of getting used to sometimes.
That's fair, mate. Well, I certainly love you. You're definitely one of ours. Right, that's all the questions from myself and the community. Is there anything that you would like to add or talk over before we end it?
No, not really. Just, you know, I'm happy to be here. Appreciate the chance to come on, answer some questions.
I appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you very much. You've been a brilliant guest. I know you were a little bit nervous, but you've done absolutely fantastic, mate. I really appreciate that.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and have an amazing day. Thank you very much, mate, and I'll catch you in a chat as well. Right?
All right.
Peace out.
See you later.